and welcome to episode 9 of The Real Movie Show. I'm Peter Evans.
And I'm Simon Conroy. Thanks for joining us again this week. We are going to be looking at a movie, a preview, and a DVD dust-off, where we take a classic, dust it off, and we shall talk about it. In this week's Up and Coming, we are talking about Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. It's a new horror movie directed by Troy Nixey, written by Del Toro, who was behind Blade 2, Hellboy, and probably his best film so far, Pan's Labyrinth. It's starring Guy Pearce and Katie Holmes, and it's a new horror movie. Let's take a look.
Sally, what do you think? We worked really hard to get her ready.
This house is unsafe for a child.
Who are you?
So as you can see from the trailer, it says what it is on the tin. Don't be afraid of the dark. And it's in complete darkness. It's got scary whispers going on. And as I was watching it, thinking this is going to be like a sort of a roller coaster scary film, when it looks like it's going to be a ride more than like a psychological, or it looks like it's going to be a really creepy film. I mean, what do you think about this? Well, how do you think it's going to go?
Well, certainly it's been written by Guillermo del Toro, who, when you look at Pan's Labyrinth, which is a very creepy, supernatural thriller, it doesn't quite border on horror, but it's quite chilling at times, but it's a fantasy story, so he's used to using the animatronics and bringing humans and these like creatures together into the same screen. Certainly, again, the same in Hellboy and Blade 2. I particularly enjoyed Hellboy. That's a very fantasy film. I think that he'll bring a lot to this by just being the writer of it, basically, because a lot of his stories are well in depth, if you can say. I mean, like, I know he keeps some kind of notebook on all of his films that he does anyway, and he's really artistically concerned about them. So I think I'll have a film which it's got a great look to it. It does look scary. I mean, like, it's obviously it depends on how the girl Sally, played by a newcomer, Bailey Madison, sorry. It'll depend on how she carries it, because a lot of the film will be to do with how she interacts with these creatures, the things from under the stairs kind of thing, and a lot of your feel will be conveyed through her. It looks interesting. Do you know, it's the new director, it's his first main feature. He's got another film quite next year, a feature, and he's up until now just directed a short, really. But I still find it interesting, because it doesn't seem to have any negative effect on the film. A lot of the edits and stuff like that are as you'd expect, how you'd expect them in a horror film. So I think a lot to do with how the characters pull it off. Katie Holmes will have a big say in it. She's this kind of stepmother character, but she's not. She's the modern equivalent. She's a girlfriend of the father, Guy Pearce, who, strangely enough, you don't see a lot of in the trailer. It's quite interesting that, you know, it's you think, what's his role going to be in it, small or large kind of thing. But yeah, I think it'll be it looks like a well put together film, and it has got some scares involved in it. Like, I've seen the other trailer as well where it's under a bed. I always remember that from when I was a kid.
Bridesmaids, with Kirsten Wiig and Rosie Byrne, they play kind of rivals to this girl who's just got engaged. Kirsten Wiig has been a long-time friend from since they were kids. Rosie Byrne is this like newcomer. She's only been friends with her for 8 months, and there's a kind of rivalry thing going on with them. Kirsten Wiig's been given the job to organise the bridesmaids shower, which is like kind of like a bachelor's party, but a bachelorette party. So they go to various places, and then it all leads up to the wedding. So Kirsten Wiig is a depressed character. She's in her late 30s. She's had no meaningful long relationships. She's stuck with this guy who just treats her as an object, and she just sees like her life going down the toilet where her best friend, his life is just going up and up and up and up.
I want to apologize. I'm not even confident of which end that came out of.
Bridesmaids was a really, really good film. It was hilarious. It had a great it had a feel-good factor to it, and it wasn't like obvious comedy. Like there was stuff in there that was gross out and kind of, I think, unneeded, but it did get a lot of big laughs in it. Basically, it's about friendship. This film, it's about people kind of moving in different directions who are like very close, and then it's a big dilemma for certain people, and it's also about like jealousy, but it's never comes out, and like these people, these bridesmaids, the maid of honor, or not the maid of honor, the chief one basically, is this girl's friend. She's been a friend for like a long time. And then this other girl, who she's only known for 8 months, the girl who's getting married, is like trying to be the best friend, and the girl who's getting married is like being suckered into this, and her actual real friend is getting really jealous of this, and that's what this film is basically about. It's about friendship, and but the comedy in this film is hilarious. It's really, really, really funny. If you went to see The Hangover 2 and you didn't enjoy that and you feel let down, go and see this because it is hilarious. You won't be sorry. There's Melissa McCarthy. She's going to be a name to watch out for. She is like the Alan character from the Hangover 2, where she's just this crazy, loud, kind of obnoxious woman in it, but yeah, it's great. It'd definitely be the summer, or if not the comedy of the year of 2011. It comes out on the 24th of June, and it's just go and see it. It's also, if you are getting married this year.
So no, I was interested then, just to like talk about that point. Like, how did you find it different to The Hangover? Was it like because The Hangover is also like the wedding scenario, and it's set to the wedding backdrop, and it's all the crazy stuff which goes on with from the boys' point of view. But it's not. It's a bit like you say, Hangover 2's got a bit too much stuff which is not about the characters. It's about made up events. Is it just more believable story?
I think if people said this is a female version of The Hangover, that does this film a discredit, because as much as people do rave about The Hangover, I personally didn't. I think I laughed about 3 times in it. This film was it was a blast from the beginning. There was a lot of visual jokes, a lot of intelligent jokes.
How did they vary to it, like?
To The Hangover? Mm-hmm. Well, they weren't it wasn't as much as in your face, and it was more believable, and it was more well written. Like the lady, the character who wrote it, the girl who wrote it, Kristen Wiig, she's a comedy writer, and it shows in this film. Like the stuff she's done on Saturday Night Live is great. Judd Apatow, he's a well-known comedy film producer, and
did he still have the fart jokes in there and stuff like that? Like,
there was one scene.
You talked about the female Alan, because obviously I've not seen it, so I'd like to think. Like, would you say it's a girls' film? It's
not a girls' film. No, it's definitely not a girls' film. It's a film that guys will like. It's a film that girls will love. And it's as simple as that. It's not like a Sex and the City where it's all very girly. It's nothing at all like that. So guys, don't be afraid to go and see this film. I mean, the screening I went to, I think I was probably the only guy in there, which was great. But yeah, it's you just have to go and see it. Don't be put off by it looking like it could be a chick flick. It's just definitely not a chick flick.
But if you're the only guy in there, do you reckon it's designed for an audience demographic for men? Like, because like I that 27 Dresses on the other day, and I've not watched that. I think P.S. I love you. Love that film. That's one to watch with your partner, not necessarily with a group or something like that. Each film has its kind of like directed audience. So I just don't reckon I'd particularly like this. I think, like I say, I enjoyed both The Hangover and The Hangover 2 for the plain laddishness of it, the plain, I've been there, done similar things to that, not being shot at by Chinese gangsters or anything like that. But that's to me, like when I remember watching the trailer, is it a very much tamer version? Is it a lot quieter, the jokes though?
No, there is one scene in it when basically I'm not going to do a spoiler, but you'll know what I mean. It's probably one of the grossest scenes you'll see in a movie, and it is very funny. But the film without that would still work. If you took the comedy out of this film, it would still be a very, very good film. It could be
like an emotional drama of some kind.
Not so much that, but it could be just still a good film. Well, I tell you what, when you go and see this film, and guys should go and see this film as well, the only people who will say it isn't as good as The Hangover are people who mental.
I want to see 10,000 hits saying chick flick from girls and boys.
It's not a chick flick. It's not a chick flick. It's absolutely not a chick flick.
Well, that's fair enough to say, though. That's a dude.
Yeah, had I not seen the trailer and I've been told I'm going to go and see a film called Bridesmaids, I would have been like, oh, this is going to be like a chick flick. But it's not. It's just, but that's down to the marketing, and that's not down to the filmmakers. That's down to the studios who market these films. The filmmakers would be probably mortified if they thought this was going to be put into that chick flick category, because it's just not. It's
Men, watch this film. Simon has told you.
Yeah, just go and see it. It's hilarious, and it's 1,000 times better than The Hangover 2, which is a stupid, immature joke, but like that film. Well, after that extremely long review of Bridesmaids and Hangover 2, we are here to talk about the DVD dust-off, which is Peter's turn. Peter, what have you chosen for the DVD dust-off?
Leon, 1994 Luc Besson film. Leon is the titular name for the film and the main character. He is a immigrant to America, lives in New York, works for Danny Aiello, who's Fat Tony, and he's pretty much the top assassin in New York. It's a story about how his life changes when in the apartment block he lives in, a young girl who he takes an interest in because he was kind of deprived of childhood, and he's like a big kid, isn't he? He takes an interest in her and saves her, and it's how her bit living with him affects her life and his life. The Jean Reno, in one of his early films, he'd done a lot of French film before then, but he is a really strong actor, and he turns a nice few comic turns in this film. It's a really sweet, endearing film, and it also features one of the first starrings for Natalie Portman when she's only like 13 or something like that, and she plays Matilda, the young girl who comes into Leon's life. He kind of has to like take a patriarchal role in her life because the entire family get killed by gangsters who are cop gangsters led by Gary Oldman, who's this Stansfield character, and basically there's a bunch of bad crooks. It's how it all comes together that way. She wants vengeance on her family. Unfortunately, she's met the right man to do it. It's really brutally filmed. It's very dark, gritty, and without Matilda in it, Natalie Portman's character would have no light relief at all. Leon is a very straight-natured character who is very trusting, and it's basically, as I say, it's how his character is affected by meeting Matilda. It's such an exceptional film.
I've never seen it. Okay, thanks for watching this week's show. We hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you come back next week when Tommy's going to be back, and they're going to be talking about a new movie, a trailer, and as Tommy's back, they're going to be doing The Vault. I've been Simon Conroy.
I'm Peter Evans.
And we'll see you next week.